A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to A+ English. I'm Pat.
I'm Tiffany.
And we're on day 2 of our Culture Shock article. We know that Simon and Lucia are going to a Taiwanese wedding. So what can we do to help out on wedding days, as Simon and Lucia will probably do?
Well, if you're a part of the wedding, for example, if maybe you are the bridesmaid or the groomsman, there's so many things that you have to do to help prepare for the wedding. Now, we mentioned that they might play some games, or there might be some tests for the groom. So you might have to help out in preparing those tests. So remember, these tests are not like writing on a test. Okay,
these
are
kind
like
of fun stuff. On the day, we saw that Simon said at a wedding he helped people find their seats. So in the UK, you would kind of help show, okay, if you're eating, your table's over there, this thing is happening here. You also might just help out. People might have questions. Hey, where is the bathroom?
Oh, right.
You know, what's going on? Something like that. When will we eat? What's going on? You could also do a lot of other tasks like making speeches, announcing things. You maybe even help the bride with her dress. If you're one of the bridesmaids, you would be doing that. Trying stuff on with the groom before the wedding. On the wedding day, the best man, who we'll meet later, also has a lot of jobs, but we'll save that in the article itself. So let's read through and find out what happens.
Culture Shock!
Wedding Day Customs.
Simon and Lucia are at the wedding. They're wearing nice clothes. They are standing, and Lucia is holding a red envelope.
So, what do we do first?
We give this red envelope to the couple.
In the UK, people give wedding presents. Giving money is just as common now, though.
Later, they are sitting at a table.
Will there be speeches? In the UK, the best man speech is always really humorous.
Sometimes the bride's parents will give a speech. Sometimes the husband's boss might.
What about dancing? That's one of my favorite parts of the wedding.
That seldom happens here. Mostly, people just eat large amounts of food and chat.
Oh, our weddings are more fun.
To be honest, I agree. But we can take home wedding cookies.
She shows Simon a box of wedding cookies.
That's more like it. Word power!
Speech. Speech. On the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future. On the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future. Humorous. Humorous. Everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story. Everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story. Parent. Parent. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her. Boss. Boss. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work.
认识字汇
bride, mostly, chat.
All right, so it is the big day. And here in this scenario, we see that Simon and Lucia are at the wedding. Ooh, fun.
Yep, and of course, they're wearing nice clothes, which you should do to a wedding. You want to dress up in your best. If you're one of the groom or the bride's team, like the bridesmaids, like we said, the bride and you will often choose what you're going to wear. Same with the guys as well. You'll work it out together. So the husband and all his kind of best friends and brothers will wear the same kind of colors, same kind of designs of suits.
Yeah, they have to match and stuff like that.
Exactly.
All right, so that's all done before the wedding. So if you're a part of the wedding, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you're just attending and you're just going, of course you want to look your best, so you wear something nice. Now, in the article, we see that they are standing and Lucia is holding a red envelope.
Okay, that's pretty important in a wedding in Taiwan. Simon asks, so what do we do first?
Okay, so Lucia says, we give this red envelope to the couple.
Okay, I remember doing that when I've been to weddings. We see they stand in front of a desk and a woman takes their red envelope. Okay, and I think they write it down, don't they, as well? They kind of record everything.
So there's someone whose job at the wedding is to take all the red envelopes and to write down the names and then how much you gave them and stuff like that. And also, when you give red envelopes to people at weddings, there's certain numbers that you have to be careful of. So that's also like a superstition, a custom as well. So I think good numbers are like 8 and 6.
Yeah, sounds right.
So you have to avoid the number 4 and things like that. All right, so next Simon says, in the UK, people give wedding presents. So that's right.
Yep, the word present means the same as gift, but in the UK, you'll actually hear people use the word presents a lot more than they do gifts. So we'll say Christmas presents, birthday presents, wedding presents. It's just a more common word than gift over in the UK.
All right, so next in the article, Simon says, giving money is just as common now, though.
Right, yeah, it's more common now just because of the way that people have kind of changed when they get married in their lives to give money, often to pay for the wedding or for the vacation after the wedding, which we call the honeymoon. Okay, so we see later Simon and Lucia, they are sitting at a table. So obviously the wedding has kind of been going on a bit. They're having a bit of food, a bit of drink, and seeing what's happening.
And then Simon said, will there be speeches? Okay, so we see an interesting word here. We see the word speech. It's spelled S-P-E-E-C-H, speech. Speech is a noun, and it is an expression of ideas, opinions, or thoughts by someone, and you usually say this in front of a group of people. So, for example, presidents will give speeches during special or important events. When you graduate from school, so when you go from high school to college, or maybe even middle school to college, someone might even come to your school to give you a speech about, moving on to the next level or the next step of your life. Okay, now let's take a look at our sample sentence. It says, on the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future. On the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future.
So Simon then adds, in the UK, the best man's speech is always really humorous. So the best man is the groom's, that's the husband's, best friend, or sometimes his brother, just depends. There aren't any real rules, you just choose your closest friend. I've heard of some weddings with 2 best men. Now the best man has some jobs. They plan the stag party or bachelor party. They help the groom get ready for the wedding. Often they will hold the ring during the wedding ceremony and then give it when it's needed for the ceremony. And in some countries, the best man gives a speech at the wedding party afterwards. Usually we would have 3 speeches at a wedding. You have the bride's parents gives one, and it's very touching. The groom gives one, and it's kind of boring and mostly thank yous. And the best man then gives a really humorous one that makes fun of the groom, tells lots of jokes, makes funny things, says funny things about the stag party, and does all that kind of stuff.
Now, yeah, I really like humorous speeches actually, because for me, when I hear like all these touching things, I just get really sad, and I feel like weddings should be really happy. So let's learn about the word humorous here. Humorous here is spelled H-U-M-O-R-O-U-S. Humorous. Humorous is an adjective, and it just means something. It means that something is funny and it has a lot of humor to it. For example, we can say, everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story. Everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story.
Okay, so Simon is talking about the best man's humorous speech, and he remembers his friend's wedding, the one he was talking about in day one. And in this memory, a man is talking and everyone is laughing, which would normally happen during the best man's speech.
Right.
But what about here?
Usually, I think it's also the same thing. The parents give a speech. If the bride and groom want to, they can also give a speech. So I think it's given, and they also have like a guest of honor that comes on stage sometimes to give a speech. But also, for example, we talked about the best man. On the woman's side, the bride's side, the person, her closest friend, is actually called the maid of honor. So the maid of honor also can give a speech as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my friend was the maid of honor, and she gave a pretty funny one too. So
excellent.
Everyone was quite funny at this wedding, so I guess we're just a humorous bunch of people.
Indeed.
All right, so next, Lucia says sometimes the bride's parents will give a speech. Okay, so that's something that we mentioned as well. And we keep saying the word bride, and bride officially just means the woman who is getting married or just got married.
Yeah, we only really use it on the wedding day or maybe kind of just before, just after. Okay, we also saw in that sentence the word parent, P-A-R-E-N-T, parent. This is a noun, and our next word, power word. Let's find out what it means. A person's parents are their father and mother. We usually use the word for the two people who made the baby together, but we could use it for people who have adopted a child as well. Here's an example sentence. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her.
So sometimes in Taiwanese weddings, the parents might give a speech, and in the article it says sometimes the husband's boss might.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
All right, so we talked about the word bride. We also saw the word husband here. Now, husband here means a married man.
Yeah, so husband is usually paired with wife, and we use the word groom for kind of pairing with bride, G-R-O-O-M, groom. So bride and groom, husband and wife.
Right, and hopefully the boss's speech is not an embarrassing one.
Yeah, I think if it embarrasses the groom, it's kind of okay, but if it's just a really boring speech that everyone hates, no.
Get off the stage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, let's look at the word boss. It is spelled B-O-S-S, boss. It's a noun, and it's our final word, power word. Let's check it out. So a boss is either the owner of a company or the person who runs it for the owner. We can also use the word boss to mean a team leader, a manager, the person in charge of any area of work. In Chinese, the word boss is kind of often used to mean the person who runs a restaurant or even just runs a food stand in a night market. You'd call him boss. So here's an example sentence for how we can use the word. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work.
All right, and next in the article, Simon says, what about dancing? That's one of my favorite parts of the wedding.
Okay, that happens in every wedding I've ever been to in the UK. After all the speeches, after the eating, then as it gets later in the evening, you will either have a DJ, you'll often have a band. There's a tradition of the husband and wife doing the first dance together to a song they really like, and then everybody will kind of get on the dance floor and just that's how it finishes. It almost turns into kind of like a party.
A big party.
Exactly. And we see in the article that Simon remembers dancing in a silly way at a wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, people doing embarrassing, silly dances at weddings, that's pretty much what should happen.
Right. That means he just had a lot of fun.
Yeah, US weddings have dancing, right?
I think a lot of Western weddings, we do a lot of dancing because it's mostly just, okay, have dinner, listen to some speeches, and then afterward, just party.
Right.
In Taiwan, I think it really depends. Like some of my friends, they're a little bit more Westernized. They did have a dance floor, they danced.
Yep, I've been to one wedding here where there was a dance and also there was a band as well. I think the bride's father was quite a good singer and he did some songs. So yeah, it was all quite entertaining, really.
And then next, Lucia says, that seldom happens here. Mostly people just eat large amounts of food and chat. So
that's more like the weddings I've been to here.
Yeah, I think it just really depends on the bride and groom, what their personalities are like, and if they enjoy that or not. But mostly people just eat and have fun. We saw the adverb mostly here. It just means almost all or almost completely. So we can just say most, okay? Not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah, so mostly here means most of the time, just kind of maybe 90% of things. So they eat large amounts of food. An amount is a measure of quantity. So it could be size, number, value, so on. It could be how much something is. A large amount of food means a lot of food. Could be either one big plate of food or many courses, different dishes served one after the other. A large amount of money would be a lot of money. Small amounts would be small amounts. You can modify it. It's just kind of a counting word. So people eat food and they chat.
Right, and chatting just means to have a conversation with someone, or it could be with many people. And when you chat with people, it's usually done in a very casual way. You can joke around, you can use less formal words and stuff. So it's a very, very casual way of talking.
Yeah, you're not talking about serious subjects. But we see in the picture that Simon looks disappointed when he finds out there will be no dancing.
And then why is he disappointed? He says, oh, our weddings are more fun. So he thinks weddings in the UK are more fun.
And Lucia says, to be honest, I agree. Now, we use the phrase to be honest when we want to make a statement that shows what we really think or how we really feel. Sometimes we know we're going to say something that might hurt or upset or disappoint someone, but we say to be honest, and we use this phrase to show we're at least telling the truth about how we feel.
And I agree with her as well. Western weddings are a lot more fun. And Lucia says, but we can take home wedding cookies. Okay?
Okay. So we see in the picture, she shows Simon a box of wedding cookies. That's definitely something I like about Taiwanese weddings.
Those cookies are good. And Simon says, that's more like it. And then this is a really fun expression that you can use. And it's just to show that the thing that you're talking about, it's getting better or it's improving. For example, if you're a shy person and you don't like to talk to people, but then suddenly you start to walk over and talk to people, it means you're getting better at not being shy. And if someone else sees that you do that, they can encourage you and say, that's more like it, to show that, okay, good job, you're doing better, you're getting better at it, and you're improving.
Yeah, it's just to show that you're kind of happy with the change that's just, oh, that's more like it, that's what I want, this is good, I like this better now. Now, in England, we don't have wedding cookies, but pretty much everybody will get to take home a piece of the big wedding cake. So that's, it's kind of different, but similar sort of tradition there. Okay, so Simon is now enjoying the wedding a lot more, even though he can't do a silly dance. We'll leave them there. We'll now go to today's Magic Box and then come back for our review time activity.
Magic Box 找亮点。
嗨，大家好，我是 Peggy。最近我也来到了这个年纪，我的朋友陆陆续续都结婚了，连续被几个红色炸弹炸到的，我觉得穷。不过呢，虽然穷到要吃土，看到朋友可以迈入人生的另外一个阶段，还是很替他们高兴啦。今天就来顺便教教大家在婚礼当中会遇到的一些字吧。首先，婚礼的英文呢就是 wedding，W-E-D-D-I-N-G。 而一场婚礼一定会有主角，就是新郎跟新娘。新娘就是 bride，B-R-I-D-E。新郎呢，则是 bridegroom，B-R-I-D-E 后面加上 G-R-O-O-M， 或者你也可以直接简称为 groom。站在新郎新娘旁边的还会有什么？就会有伴郎、伴娘和花童啦。伴郎伴娘的角色其实是在婚礼当天负责协助新人，有的会帮新娘梳妆打扮啊、提裙子啊、拿东西啊，有的会帮新郎保管戒指啦之类的。通常我们都会从兄弟姐妹或是亲戚朋友当中找年龄相仿的人担任。伴郎的英文叫做 best man， 最棒的男人，但是这是2个字。伴娘呢，则是 bridesmaid，B-R-I-D-E-S-M-A-I-D 是1个字哦。maid 这个字呢，其实就是侍女的意思，所以这个字也解释了婚礼当天其实伴娘的角色就是帮新娘打理大小事的侍女。至于花童则一样有男女2个说法，女生很好记，花童嘛就叫做 flower girl， 男生则叫做 page。这边的 page 跟第几页的那个 page 其实没有关系，而是从这个字在中古世纪的意思衍生过来的，就是中世纪骑士身边的小侍从或是见习骑士的意思。介绍完这些角色之后，我们就要来介绍婚礼上会遇到的事情。当然最重要的事情就是结婚 ，get married 或是 marry。英文里面呢，其实没有嫁娶的概念，所以不管是嫁还是娶，一律都用 marry， 很方便，很平等。在结婚之前呢，有的人还会求婚，求婚的动词就是 propose，P-R-O-P-O-S-E， 名词呢则是 proposal，P-R-O-P-O-S-A-L。但这个字呢，除了在求婚之外，其实也是提议、计划或提案的意思。比如说，你给老板提一个 proposal， 就不是你要对老板求婚，然后有点太可怕，而是对老板提出一个提案。最后啊，结婚了之后，新郎新娘就成了夫妻 ，husband and wife， 他们则身处于一场婚姻当中 ，marriage。去年刚通过的法案同性婚姻。Same-sex marriage 其实就是在婚姻前面加上 same-sex 而已。不管是同性还是异性，要经营一段婚姻都一样是一件虽然幸福但是不容易的事情。大家结婚之前要好好考虑哦。最后来个小测验，来考考你有没有记住这些单字吧。假设今天我是一个女生，今年3岁，明天要出席一场婚礼，穿漂亮的衣服，帮我的表姐在红毯上撒花。请问我明天要当什么呢？
The answer is a flower girl. 你答对了吗？
Wait for it. It's review time. 复习时间到喽。
What's going on here?
All right, we have a lot of words here. They're scrambled around, so
The
it's not the
letters are all
correct.
mixed up.
It's not the right spelling, and we need to figure out what this word spells, and what this word spells, and what this word spells.
Right, okay, I definitely can get this one.
Okay.
Is it pattern?
No.
It's not pattern?
No, and pattern isn't spelled like that.
Oh, that's just no
Do you remember the words
good.
we learned today?
Oh, hang on. Pattern is similar to parent.
There we go.
Okay, so this one I can do. It's like I sob, I cry, she sobs.
No.
No.
Okay, well, this word is, remember the husband, somebody will give a speech at the wedding?
Oh, right, the husband's boss.
That's right.
Okay,
Even
what
though
about,
we
okay.
could spell sob.
Peaches, like fruit.
Oh, bad.
What? Did I spell that wrong too?
Yes, you did.
Oh man, okay.
Well,
if it's
when
not
people
peaches, it
speak
must
at a
be
wedding,
a speech.
that's right.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
now
here's
this
the
one.
challenge.
It looks like it should be rhinoceros, but I think some letters are missing. I can make H-O-U.
your brother.
It's almost house.
It's a way to
Roo
describe-
house.
I would say pad is this.
Oh,
and your brother.
stupid. Bad at spelling. Not a good student. This is
Homeless. No, I'm kidding.
homeless. Okay. Yep, that is very funny though. So maybe if it's funny, It's humorous.
There we go.
Okay.
Good
I just
job.
about got there in the end. That
think
was
you did.
incredibly difficult. This is like one of these wedding test things that I have to go through. Okay, that is the end of our article. Thanks for watching, everybody. For A+ English, I'm Pat.
I'm Tiffany.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Culture shock!
Wedding Day Customs.
Simon and Lucia are at the wedding. They're wearing nice clothes. They are standing, and Lucia is holding a red envelope.
So, what do we do first?
We give this red envelope to the couple.
In the UK, people give wedding presents. Giving money is just as common now, though.
Later, they are sitting at a table.
Will there be speeches? In the UK, the best man speech is always really humorous.
Sometimes the bride's parents will give a speech. Sometimes the husband's boss might.
What about dancing? That's one of my favorite parts of the wedding.
That seldom happens here. Mostly, people just eat large amounts of food and chat.
Oh, our weddings are more fun.
To be honest, I agree. But we can take home wedding cookies.
She shows Simon a box of wedding cookies.
That's more like it. Word power!
Speech. Speech. On the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future. On the last day of school, our teacher gave a speech. She wished us a great future. Humorous. Humorous. Everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story. Everyone laughed at Jackson's humorous story. Parent. Parent. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her. Lily's parents both work late, so her grandma often looks after her. Boss. Boss. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work. Sam asked his boss for a few days off work.
认识字汇
Bride. Mostly. Chat.